Welcome to Industry Ignited, the podcast that sparks bold conversations with the leaders driving innovation in industry, manufacturing, and technology. I'm your host, Dr. Leeanne Aguilar. Today, I'm excited to welcome Tal Mund, founder and chairman of BL Energy, based in Tel Aviv, Israel. With over 30 years of experience across renewable energy, finance, corporate strategy, and technology, Tal is a true pioneer. Under his leadership, BL Energy has become Israel's first mover and market leader in large-scale battery energy storage systems, developing groundbreaking projects, forging strategic global partnerships, and shaping the future of renewable integration. Tal's career spans from solar and wind projects to energy storage at scale, and his entrepreneurial drive has positioned him at the forefront of the global clean energy transformation. Tal, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Leeanne. It was very flattering, your introduction.
Yes, I'm glad to have you here. So, Tal, you've had an extensive career spanning M&A, finance, solar, wind, and now battery energy storage. Can you take us back to the early days? What first inspired you to enter the energy sector?
The first inspiration came through learning the business of large industrial companies. I was related to through my position in a holding company, investment holding company. And we found out that there were new ideas and new reforms that allowed private companies to develop and to own power plants. That was the beginning of the industry here in the beginning of the 2000s. And it became a subject that I found to be very complex and very interesting because it has interactions with a lot of disciplines. It's interactions with technology, with business models, regulations with energy markets, which are in development, with finance. And all of that needs to come together to a clear picture of why to invest in very large amount of money into that when you can buy the electricity off grid or other sources. And it became to be very, very interesting subject. And I had the, I would say, the luck to be there at the beginning and to be insisting in being involved and then being a champion and then starting new things around it. Later on, a few years later, the renewable energy idea or opportunities and different technologies started to be more familiar to the market and to the global markets. And then I found myself starting this kind of businesses, both in Europe and both in Israel. And it as well were a combination of a lot of disciplines and vision, as well as it's very nice to contribute something good to the world.
And like you mentioned, you've been described as a first mover, like taking advantage of new opportunities and founding companies and building new markets. What qualities or mindset do you think allowed you to consistently step into new frontiers before they came mainstream?
I think, first of all, you have to have luck to be there at the right time. Second, you have to have some wide understanding of the happenings, of the dynamics and the changes that are happening, to connect a lot of dots into a bigger picture, to see a vision in front of you and to understand where it can take you or where the world or the markets and can take you, and to understand it's worthwhile doing that, where all these efforts and investing this time and efforts into a real business. And when you understand it's possible, and you see also examples, you're not usually really the first. You see that others came before you and did it maybe in other markets. And you learn from their experience and you meet a lot of people from different markets in Europe, in the United States, and you hear their stories and you understand it can happen to you. So you're getting some confidence in making it, but still you have no idea what's in front of you. So it's part of the challenge, part of the opportunity, part of the, I would say, excitement to do such journeys.
So just really staying open and aware and willing to step into something new.
And understand what it takes, and understand all the risk and economics and counterparties involved and what it takes to bring it to life.
Now, looking back, what are some of the pivotal moments in your career that shaped your approach as a leader?
Leader is it's too big word, but as I said, it's being in the right moment. Second is seizing the moments in the right way, having the right partners with you, insisting on doing things in the right way, in the very serious professional way, and not to cut corners, to bring all opinions around you and smart people around you to the table, to hear your views or to be part of your either partners or team, to build the right teams and to fight hard in making those businesses grow in the right direction with the best economics you can.
Right. So really surrounding yourself with the right people, making sure that you're staying in integrity and just doing things for the right reasons is what I'm hearing.
You have to believe in the way, you have to also use your instincts that you're not doing the wrong things. You would go through some hardships and some excitements, but if you try to see the end game and you believe it's worthwhile to go there, and you know it's possible, it might be hard along the way, but it's possible, and you come with new ideas, or you are bringing new ideas, or you are preaching for new ideas, it will catch up for real things at the end of the day. And you have to get the right people along the way.
The right people along the way, yeah. And so meeting the right people, is that people that you intentionally seek out? How are you forming or identifying the people to form the relationships with that grow into partnerships?
Sometimes you are just in a company and you are having conversation with when I was an employee, so having conversation with your CEO or others and try to gain their confidence on your ideas and get their green light and start from there. And along the way, of course, you have to convince them all the time that you're doing the right things. If you're not an employee, if I started also things that independently, like BL Energy, the last chapter, I was incidentally met someone who were not in the energy space, but some good chemistry was created between us in a very, very short time. The intuition was very strong that this might be a good person to start talking to and start exchanging ideas. And this chemistry and the feeling that this guy has a long-term vision. And he has maybe also the muscles, the financial muscles. And the good chemistry between us created the partnership. And this partnership created the company. But it created the company from scratch. It's really created the company from scratch when there was no real market of energy storage in Israel. There was no regulation, no business case, nothing. I have to create everything from scratch and did the right things, met the right people, approached the right customers. I had to find the first customer with no business case because it's not like the US market when you have very large electricity markets where you can grab the revenues from the market. It's a full regulated market. It was at least 5-6 years ago. And I had to create a story around why is it worthwhile doing such an investment to a renewable energy company that was also a first mover. And it came across all of these ideas together and the confidence and the ambitions of all people around the table to make it happen. And we made it happen, and we started to be on the map, and everybody was looking at the map and found only us. And then it created many more opportunities and a lot of hard work to make it from a very small opportunity to a very big one. But it started from choosing knowing what you're looking for, convincing the right people with your approach. Of course, you have to convince them it's economic. You have to talk to their ego sometimes and see it sits in the right places and do the right things. And all of that nothing was here. We didn't do it before, here at least. It was the COVID time, so the international market was in a mess. No international company was flying over, so we did everything remotely. I brought around me very good people to help me. And from there, we started from this scratch to a very meaningful company.
Yeah, that's admirable to be able to find the right person to partner with, but also have a vision that is so strong that you're willing to take that risk and to approach people without having any proof of concept. I guess share your vision in a way that's inspiring enough to motivate people to take that risk with you And
It wasn't just a vision, it was to sell to somebody at that time at $1 million, something I didn't try before, I didn't do before, and he didn't do before. And he could buy it from international global companies like Tesla or whatever, good names, very strong names compared to us, but still, he did it with us.
And now BL Energy has grown into Israel's leading battery energy storage integrator, even achieving the first COD battery energy storage system project in the country. What were the biggest challenges you faced in building this company from the ground up?
So as I said, there was no market, so we have to create the market. We had to create the market, the opportunities, and convince we can make it. So track record, first one, second one, third one was very hard to get, but then we build up the confidence with customers. Around that, we started to build a team. Around that, we started to build a solution that we didn't have before. We created very strong technology partnerships with the global leading battery energy storage battery producer, which is a Chinese company. CATL, it's number one in the world, which is really having a big market share, both for EVs as well as energy storage. We also met each other around the time they started to go global. So we found some common grounds on professional ideas. And since then, it's already 6 or 7 years, we are tagging along with the development of technology, but we created the solution that their technology is part of it. So from time to time, from year to year, we made additional big steps. At the beginning, it was really small projects. We had to convince the customer to trust us. Second, after they saw we know what we're doing, we created the solution that we didn't do before. We went into a software development that was part of the solution. And I started to sell a product or a solution in millions or tens of millions of dollars to customers without having this solution tried before. So I had to be very bold, and they had to be very bold to take it. Since then, after we proved that these solutions were working very well and even better than the competition, they are buying more and more.
So tell me a little bit more about your partnership with CATL and how these global collaborations have accelerated your growth.
First of all, CATL is, as I said, it's really number one in not just size, but technology, R&D, and products in batteries, and which goes into the electric vehicles as well as energy storage. And their reputation as a premium product is helping us, of course, to differentiate ourselves also as a premium product. It's not the only thing, but it helps. It's our, I would say, strengths in the market, in other markets. That's one thing. The other thing is really nurturing and strengthening and working day by day, building and strengthening and have a very intimate relationship with their people, from the very senior people to the management below, all levels, from management levels, commercial levels, technology levels. And they found in our team a very strong counterparty that understand them and even help them understand the markets and understand their products, because they're doing mistakes as well. So we revealed their mistakes as well, and we help them to correct them. It creates a very intimate relationship which help us, together with reputation, to build our solution and tagging along their progress in technology as well, and being always in forefront of technology solutions to the market. So it's a counter, I would say, benefits to both parties. And we're nice customers to them, and we're not the largest, but we're certainly a good one. And in the Middle East or in Israel, we are build their market for them. And now we're doing so in Europe, in early stage markets, but it didn't succeed to get customers, and it have another effect on our relationship.
Yeah, so I'm just hearing the importance of developing just a really collaborative and mutually beneficial relationship that's built on trust and having each other's best interest in mind and really working collaboratively to create new products and move the market forward.
Yeah.
Battery energy storage is often seen as the missing link for renewable adoption. From your perspective, why is storage so critical right now?
Because if you want to integrate more and more renewable energy into grids, the energy and the grids are not so strong. They're weak at certain places. The cannot absorb all the energy at one time. Certainly if it's, let's say, wind or solar, its energy is created when the wind blows or the sun shines. So it might be that you have condensed areas in the grid, and the grid cannot take it all at all times when you generate it. So energy storage is the missing link that helps the grid carry the excess energy that you generate at that place into later stage where the grid can take it. That helps having more renewable energy at the location which is worthwhile to do it. That's one thing. Second, distributed energy is creating a lot of challenges to grids and markets. It's not like the big power plants that were once you have huge power plants and you have a big connection that you supply to a city. Now a lot of generation is happening everywhere. And you have to manage all those locations in the generation side and consumption side. And the missing link, the energy storage, is actually mitigating those issues in many ways, like in stabilizing the grid itself or having some reserves to allow the flow of energy in other times, and also as a very economic tool to balance the market. You have different prices in the market at different times of the day because of supply and demand. So the energy storage could be a very nice tool, come in and come out in the market when you have the opportunity to buy low, sell high, but it's becoming also part of the balancing of the market because it's completing the missing links in the generation and consumption that the market is creating. So as much as it is more economical because prices of technology is going down very dramatically in the last years, and technology is improving very much in the last years, and the market and the financial markets are getting to know this technology and feel confident with it, it's going in more and more.
Yeah, so it's not only an economic benefit to have this energy storage, but also it helps just stabilize the resource and offers flexibility as well.
Correct. I think you used the best word, flexibility. When you looked at all articles for so many years already, the new grids need a lot of flexibility. And this is a very flexible asset.
Okay. So you've expanded from integration to developing standalone battery solutions or storage solution assets. What opportunities do you see in that transition?
For standalone energy storage projects. First of all, as I said, I think from the last question on flexibility, these standalone energy storage projects are helping grids to be flexible. They're giving the grid managers flexibility in managing the energy flow at their networks, and it helps them balance the systems or the markets they're in. It's been around for the last probably 10 years. It's getting more and more popular. You either have what's called hybrid projects, which is generation plus storage. It could be renewable, it could be something else. Or you can have a standalone where it's a consumption and it's a consumer and generator. And it's both ways. So when you have to absorb some energy from the grid, you absorb it, you charge. When you want the energy back to the grid, you discharge. So it gives a lot of flexibility in very fast reactions, and the economic benefits to the owner of the system is by the market prices that are created through these flows. So there's a lot of benefits, and it's growing, and you see it more and more.
From your time at Ormat, Clausen, and BL Energy, you've had a hand in multiple forms of energy innovation. How have you seen the energy landscape evolve in the last 3 decades?
3 decades make me very old. First of all, in energy, one is digitation, if this is the right word, okay? Like you had in the telecom industry, where you had big mainframes or whatever that did a lot of computing for your telecom services. And then today you have a phone, your smartphone in your hand. All the computing is done there, and all the communication is done from there. A lot of smart is there. The same thing is happening in the in the energy sector. Because of the distribution energy that is growing, the optimization of the markets, the optimization of the grids, the optimization of the assets, that will optimize it either in the operational side of things or the economical side of things, is a big, big revolution. It's either in the end customer side, like you in your home, when your utility or your service provider want to give you services or to suggest to you, they need to know a lot about you. So they need a lot of information about your consumption profile and so forth. On the other hand, they have their generation assets or their suppliers, so they have to optimize everything together, a lot of data, and create some good results. That's one thing. Or if you want to operate energy storage or a power plant or a solar power plant, a wind power plant, and you want to inject this energy in the very high tariff times, you have to predict when it is. So a lot of software is coming in, which was not, I believe, 20, 30 years ago. That's one thing. The other thing, I think, is the revolution of the renewable energy and distributed energy. A lot of innovation happened in these areas. The solar energy 20 years ago is not the solar energy today. The efficiency of the cells, the type of products, manufacturing side, and everything else. Energy storage 6 years ago is not the same energy storage as today. In the first project we did, a very small one, 3 megawatt hours. The 3 megawatt hours were in a container of, let's put it in simple words, in a 40-foot container. Now you can have in a 20-foot container, meaning half size, 2 times more batteries, 6 megawatt hours or more. So the chemistry and the technology, the electronics around it, the controls, a lot of things are all the time improving and improving, and it allows the technology to be a big enabler of these changes. And there's a lot of startups in energy. All the time you see things in material science, in the hydrogen side, billions of those are invested, although it's not economical yet. A lot of areas, and everybody needs energy, and it's the big talk. And everybody's trying to make it cheaper, cleaner, and it drives a lot of things.
Yeah, it's exciting times. And you're right, like technology is just improving at the speed of light. Things are happening so rapidly, and there are so many advancements. It makes it very exciting, especially in the world of renewable energy, as you mentioned. With BL Energy now exceeding 1 gigawatt hour in contracted projects, what role does technology, whether it's software, AI, or system design, play in scaling efficiently and reliably?
Technology, I think it's a big part of it. I mean, you have to have a very reliable solution and very efficient solution. So you have to be always on the forefront of the technology, because the customers who are big customers, big energy companies, they are comparing the best in-class technologies they can have. So they always have to be tagging along or aiming to have the best technologies, either in the batteries or the conversion systems or the software side, which is also all the time adapting to the market changes, the regulation changes, to the needs of the customer, to the optimization levels that they are seeking. And as well as a big thing out of it is maintaining all those systems. We're having a lot of efforts on having maintenance and monitoring capabilities and platforms to look into those systems, which are having huge amount of data created every second, to keep this data, to analyze the data, to see everything is okay, to know how to fix it. And you need a lot of technology to handle all of these things. I think this is a story.
Yeah, so creating a lot more efficient solutions that provide a lot more information and help things, move more quickly. And I think efficiency, all the way around, not just from an economical standpoint, but also production and supply chain, standpoint, just helping facilitate things and make everything flow more smoothly. That's what I think. Energy storage is also deeply connected to manufacturing and industrial supply chains. How does BL Energy work with global partners and manufacturers to ensure both quality and sustainability?
As I mentioned, we are working mainly with the global leaders in the industries that are providing to us the main parts of the solutions we are providing. So we are not going to second tier, third tier players, which might be cheaper, but we're not betting on this kind of partners. Sometimes it makes us our life harder because our customers are more sensitive to price, and we are fighting those fights every day. But we can sleep easy and nicely to know that the technology is but the best companies possible. And we have built up, as I mentioned, very strong relationship both on the personal level as well as the technical level with the teams of those customers, of those suppliers, in a very, very personal relationship from all levels. I mean, the owners, the CEO, the presidents, and VPs, and directors, and managers, and so forth. Everybody knows everybody, easy to talk. We know if we have a problem, we know who to address, they know who to address. And we know each other also, how we think. I mean, it's not always easy, but especially not with the Chinese, but it's working.
Yes, I'm just hearing, again, that the importance of relationships and developing and having that transparency and just that trust that develops with those long-term relationships. For communities and industries relying on renewable energy, what do you see as the long-term value battery energy storage systems can unlock beyond just the stability on the grid?
For communities, it's creating for the community two main things. First of all, they can create, if the regulation allows it, independence. Okay, so you can manage your own resources and consumption in the best way. So you can have your solar farm or wind farm, whatever generation you want to have, and you keep part of it in energy storage systems with smart management, and you provide to the community the best result possible instead of being dependent on outside world, which might be the grids, which are not always stable, or big suppliers that will try to squeeze you in their terms. You can create your own terms. In many occasions, you can create your own terms. Usually you're not really disconnecting from the world. Communities should not disconnect from the world either, unless they are at the end of the world and they don't have any other options. But everybody, everywhere else, even the U.S., there are big communities, solar or things like that. And in Israel, the first project we created was in a kibbutz. Kibbutz is a community. I don't know if you know this term, but kibbutz is basically an agriculture community, but it's a community. And kibbutz in Israel have its own grid. They can manage their own grid. It's a privilege given to them many years ago. So they can do whatever they want inside. They have their inhabitants inside, of course, and they have a manufacturing side inside, or other big consumers that are using their location. So if you have everything together, using it for yourself, you do it probably better than buying it from the outside. If you want to be green as well, you can control your green ambitions as well better than just depend on somebody else. So it's working very nicely in different places. And
so again, it allows that flexibility and autonomy and that ability for a community to have, I guess, power, quote unquote, with their own system and not rely on the entire grid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
So as founder and now chairman, how has your leadership role evolved at BL Energy?
Every role you're trying to do the best you can in your role, and of course CEO have in a way much bigger responsibility and a lot of work to do. driving the company, bringing more sales, bringing customers, managing the people, being in the right teams, capabilities, and so forth. A lot of work for the CEO and a lot of responsibility. And a year and a half ago, I transferred this role to somebody else who came outside of the company, but was in the company for a year before it became a CEO, just to gain confidence and know the company and the people, and being ready to get the role. And I'm trying to, as much as I can, to help, to bring more opportunities, to be part of the thinking, where I can help. If I'm not interrupting, sometimes people say I'm interrupting. So it's a change which is certainly as a founder and previously CEO, you have to go through. It's not always easy.
Yeah, but just bringing up someone else to fill that role, and so you have more freedom to develop more relationships and move the company forward in other ways as much as you can. You've begun sharing BL Energy's expertise internationally, particularly in Europe. Where do you see the biggest opportunities for expansion?
Well, first of all, we are focusing on Europe because it's relatively close to us. It's easier for us to go to Europe than to the US. Second, we focus in Europe on early stage markets. Very surprisingly, most of the European markets are at early stage. And this is a big opportunity for us, and we try to identify the right markets which open the door for us. And our people created some relationship in different markets where we identified big opportunities, but in a stage where it didn't happen yet. And local companies there, the local players there, which are either developers of projects or energy players or EPC companies, engineering, procurement, construction companies, who are involved already in energy and renewable energy, but didn't have the know-how and the experience of doing things in energy storage, found our teams and our solution quite convincing. And because we are a small company and compared to the giants around there, but still our technology and solution is based on the giants that are out there, they found we have an appealing proposition, as well as a very good DNA of people that was patient enough and to educate them and work with them on starting their business in energy storage. And it's a lot of hard work, a lot of discussions, a lot of convincing. Also competing with existing possible players or international players who are trying to get in as well. We succeeded first time this year. These 2 contracts in Europe, in countries which are going to be big markets. One in the Baltic markets, which are detached already from the Russian grid. We saw that coming. It was clear that they announced they are going to detach from the Russian grid and become independent. And when they want to become independent, they need to have more generation inside, including renewable, and energy storage is a very important part of it. So we found their partners, and also in the Balkans, in Romania, that became a big market. All this area, the Romania, Poland, Hungary, Bulgaria, all those areas are just starting. There are a lot of incentives by the governments. I believe it also relates to be more independent from Russia, or more renewables, more green. But it's happening. So we are also having. Then we also work very much. I didn't talk about it, but you asked me in the beginning of the story. At the same time, at the beginning of the story, other entrepreneurs in Israel started their renewable business. And we are looking 20 years after, a few of them are global companies, became global companies. And I know them from the start. They are very strong companies. All of them almost are traded companies, billions of dollars. Also acquired companies in the US, acquired companies in Europe, or projects or developed there. So when you have those relationships with those customers, an Israeli customer, and they enjoy the benefits of being your customer, and they had the experience of getting confidence with you, they would sometimes take you also to other markets. So that's another channel we are working on to get to those opportunities through this relationship. So this is for now. I believe we would have more plans, but for now it's big plans for us at the size of our company. But I hope that looking ahead a few years from now, we would be in more markets, maybe in more areas, not just European markets, although it's a big market for itself, maybe Middle East, maybe Africa. I'm not sure we'll go to the US. It's a huge market, but very already, I think, full with very strong players there. So it's hard to see we're going there, but might be. We might take, the data center industry, for example, globally is growing amazingly. And data center is, first of all, an energy consumer. So the discussion over what is the best solution for data center is just starting. I hope that we can be part of the solution as well and show ourselves in a first opportunity, and then, as in the beginning, it will bring more.
Exciting. Yeah, lots of opportunities. And like you mentioned, especially with AI and the need for these data centers, the need for energy is growing exponentially. So I think there, like you said, lots of opportunities coming up in the future. What advice would you give to leaders and entrepreneurs looking to innovate in highly complex, capital-intensive industries like energy?
First of all, you have to be very patient. You have to believe very much in what you do. You have to understand that you'll have to go through hard times. You have to plan ahead, even if there's a lot of uncertainties. You have to have some bold understanding of where you're going to and what it takes, if it's money or it's people or whatever, and to find the right partners and bring them along at the right time. Not to dilute yourself too much and still continue to influence your business. That's, I think, very in a nutshell. I don't know. There's so many things you have to tackle along the way and so many decisions you have to take. So you have to be ready for a long journey. If it's something, if people are looking for quick money, it's not I don't think it's the domain to be in.
Yeah, so it's something you've got to really be passionate about, something that you're invested in and willing to endure the ups and downs and the hardships but overall rewarding if you stick it out is what I'm hearing.
Yep.
So finally, what's next for you personally and for BL Energy as it continues shaping the energy future?
BL Energy will continue to on both growth engines, both as an integrator and entrepreneur, will try to grow its business. I believe that, and I hope that in the next year or 2 years, we'll also succeed to bring new investments in to help us grow better or faster. And maybe in 2-3 years from now, when the development assets, which we are having very substantial portfolio in very good shape, will start to generate revenues, very high revenues, we can go also public in maybe 2-3 years from now. if the markets will be okay, the partners will be ready to be public because it's a private company now. Myself, I don't know. I'm thinking myself a lot of what's next, or what's along BL Energy could be next, and new excitements, bringing my experience to other places or other entrepreneurs in innovation or fun stuff. I don't know, but that's the thing that is bothering me as well.
Yeah, well, I think there's lots of opportunity and possibility, and yeah, that's exciting, the possibility of BL Energy going public as well. Well, Tal, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your amazing journey from building Israel's first battery energy storage project to scaling a company with global impact. Your story highlights not just the power of innovation, but the resilience and vision it takes to transform an entire industry. How can our listeners...
Sorry.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was exciting to have you. I'm really honored to have you here today. How can our listeners learn more about BL Energy and your groundbreaking work in energy storage?
We have a website, www.blenergy.co.il, and we have a LinkedIn page as well, which is very, very active in what's happening in the company, and also articles and posts we are publishing. That's it. I think it's the two good places to know who we are.
Great. Well, I look forward to continuing watching the journey as BL Energy evolves and grows in these next few years. So thank you again, Tal. I've enjoyed this conversation.
Me too, and thank you very much that you came along from Houston, Texas to interview me here somehow.
And for our listeners, until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep igniting industry. And make sure to follow us and stay tuned for our next show. Thank you.
Thank you.